April 1988, the Persian Gulf had become one of the most dangerous places on Earth. Oil tankers burned on the horizon. Naval mines drifted silently beneath the waves. And somewhere in those waters, the United States Navy was waiting. When Iran decided to challenge American sea power that spring, the response came with overwhelming force. Missiles ripped through the sky. Warships burned. And within hours, much of Iran's navy would be lying on the bottom of the Persian Gulf. This was Operation Praying Mantis, the day the United States Navy delivered one of the most decisive naval battles of the modern era. To understand how this battle began, we have to look at the final years of the Iran-Iraq War. For nearly 8 years, Iran and Iraq had been locked in one of the bloodiest conflicts of the 20th century. Hundreds of thousands had already died. But by the mid-1980s, the battlefield expanded beyond land. It moved into the Persian Gulf. This phase became known as the Tanker War. Both Iran and Iraq began attacking oil tankers traveling through the Gulf. Their goal was simple: destroy the enemy's economy by choking off oil exports. But the Persian Gulf was not just important to those two countries. Nearly a third of the world's oil passed through its waters. If the shipping lanes collapsed, the global economy could follow. So the United States stepped in. American warships began escorting tankers in a mission called Operation Earnest Will. It was the largest naval convoy operation since World War II. For months, U.S. ships patrolled the region. But tensions were rising. And then disaster struck. On April 14, 1988, the U.S. frigate USS Samuel B was conducting patrol operations in the Persian Gulf. Suddenly, a massive explosion tore through the ship. The frigate had struck an Iranian naval mine. The blast ripped open the hull and nearly broke the ship in half. Water flooded into the engine room. For a moment, it seemed certain the vessel would sink. But the crew fought back. Sailors battled fires. Damage control teams sealed flooding compartments. For hours, they struggled to keep their ship alive. Against the odds, they succeeded. The Samuel B. survived. But the attack changed everything. Washington now faced a choice: ignore the attack or respond. 4 days later, the United States Navy launched a massive retaliatory strike. Operation Praying Mantis had begun. At dawn on April 18th, American warships moved into position across the Persian Gulf. Aircraft carriers launched attack aircraft. Marine units prepared to board offshore platforms. The first targets were Iranian oil platforms. These rigs had been converted into military observation posts used to guide attacks on shipping. American destroyers issued warnings. Abandon the platforms. When the warnings expired, naval guns opened fire. Shells slammed into the steel structures. Explosions tore through the platforms. Within minutes, they were burning wrecks. But Iran quickly responded. Iranian Revolutionary Guard speedboats raced into the Gulf. These small, fast vessels carried rockets and machine guns. Their mission was harassment. But American aircraft were already overhead. Attack aircraft from the aircraft carrier USS Enterprise located the boats. Moments later, cluster bombs fell from the sky. The speedboats exploded in flames. Others scattered and fled. But the most dangerous confrontation was still coming. The Iranian missile boat Joshin moved toward an American naval task force. American ships issued multiple warnings. Stop. Turn away. But instead, Joshin launched a Harpoon anti-ship missile directly at the U.S. fleet. The missile raced toward its target. But American electronic defenses disrupted the attack. Moments later, The U.S. Navy responded. Surface-to-air missiles launched from multiple ships. They struck the Iranian vessel. Then naval gunfire followed. Within minutes, the missile boat Joshan sank beneath the waves. But the battle wasn't over. Iran deployed one of its most powerful warships, the frigate Sahand. Sahand steamed into the Gulf looking for American ships. Instead, American aircraft found her first. U.S. Navy Amanus 6 Intruder attack aircraft launched their strike. Harpoon anti-ship missiles streaked toward the frigate. Laser-guided bombs followed. The hits were devastating. Fire spread across the ship. Then the flames reached the ammunition stores. A massive explosion tore through the vessel. The Sahand sank. Later that day, another Iranian frigate, Sabalan, attempted to join the fight. American aircraft attacked immediately. A precision laser-guided bomb dropped directly into the ship's funnel. The blast crippled the vessel instantly. Sabalan burned in the water. By nightfall, the battle was over. In less than a single day, the U.S. Navy had destroyed or crippled a significant portion of Iran's naval power. And it had done so with overwhelming speed and precision. Operation Praying Mantis lasted only a few hours. But its consequences were enormous. Iran had learned a harsh lesson. Direct naval confrontation with the United States was impossible. Instead, Iran changed its strategy. Rather than building a conventional navy, it invested in asymmetric warfare. Vast attack boats, naval mines, missile swarms, drones. These tactics would later define Iranian naval strategy for decades. The Persian Gulf remained tense. American warships continued to patrol the region. And the Strait of Hormuz remained one of the most strategically important waterways on Earth. Even today, military planners study Operation Praying Mantis as a textbook example of modern naval warfare. The Battle of April 18, 1988 lasted only hours, but it revealed the true scale of modern naval power. In a single day, advanced missiles, carrier aircraft, and coordinated naval tactics overwhelmed an entire fleet. Yet the battle also revealed something deeper. Military dominance does not always bring lasting peace. Today, the same waters of the Persian Gulf remain heavily armed. Warships still patrol the horizon. Missiles still guard the Strait of Hormuz. And the memory of Operation Praying Mantis remains a reminder of what happens when a regional power challenges the United States Navy at sea.